Are we going to necessarily have a recession? We have very strong jobs right now to the point where we have very high inflation. The inflation rate is continually moving higher. Simultaneously, we have a tremendous amount of shifts in policy coming out of Washington, D.C. It's getting to the point where it's so dizzying you can't keep track of it. But does that mean that our economy is going to go into recession based on those policy shifts? We have a very strong economy. And the tariffs alone, just the tariffs here in the United States, expectations are that we would see a 0.4% decline in growth for the economy. That wouldn't give us a recession because we have enough growth currently. We're above 3% GDP growth rate on an annualized basis. The 0.4% wouldn't necessarily give us a recession. But we're also seeing a lot of federal spending freezes, which could send a little bit of a shudder through the financial system and the economy. Again, on its own, probably not going to give us a recession. We're also going to see federal employees who have left the federal workforce en masse, about 7.5% by some of the statistics I'm seeing, but we don't know those numbers either. That's an ongoing data point that we'll be watching. Given each of these individually, we probably won't see a recession. Given them in totality, we could see a decline in the rate of growth of our economy, but it wouldn't necessarily push us into recession. However, the stock market, nothing within these policies says growth, 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 buy, buy, buy. The stock market very likely is going to sell off. A lot will point to the policy shifts that we have seen as saying, listen, this is a drag on economic growth, a drag on employment, and it's sending the deficit slightly higher, which is costing Americans even more with a bigger deficit with higher interest rates. This would slow economic growth, but we're probably going to see a miss in recession, despite the fact that we'll see the stock market likely fall from its all-time highs.